Once upon a time, in a humble home nestled at the edge of a small village, there lived a family of 7 children, along with their father and mother. But within this family, there was something that made the home feel less like a place of warmth and love, a silent, unspoken favoritism. Among all the children, it was the 6th child, Nene, who found herself forgotten, unseen, and unloved. Nene was the invisible one. She was always the one asked to do the most, fetching water, washing the clothes, cleaning the house, and preparing the meals. Though she was still young, she knew every chore by heart. She never complained, never asked for help, and never expected anything in return. Nene loved her family deeply, and her love ran so quietly and deeply that she never questioned when she was given the most difficult tasks. She simply said yes each time, even when it meant sacrificing her own joy. She did it all for love. One evening, the father of the family made a rare announcement, a special treat for dinner that night. "Tonight, we will have chicken," he declared. Everyone rejoiced, except for Nene. For her, it was yet another night where she would serve the meal, but never taste the delight that the others would enjoy. Still, Nene was happy. She was always happy when she could do something for her family. As evening approached, the father turned to Nene and said, "Go, fetch the firewood before it gets dark." Nene nodded eagerly. She loved her family, and her joy came from doing the little things that kept the household running. As she prepared to leave, Nene gathered all the courage she had in her small heart and, for the first time, asked her father for something. "Father," she said softly, "could I have the gizzard of the chicken? It's my favorite part, just once." Her father, surprised by her request but feeling a moment of generosity, smiled and said, "Yes, Nene, I promise you will have it." Her heart fluttered with happiness as she hurried off to fetch the firewood. She didn't even think about the weight of the task. Her mind was already imagining how the gizzard would taste, how it would feel to finally have something of her own. When Nene returned, the house was filled with the delicious aroma of roasted chicken. She rushed inside, eager to finally enjoy her small victory. But when she asked for the gizzard, her father looked at her with a sad, tired expression. "The eldest ate it," he said with a sigh. "I'm sorry, Nene, but we will have more chicken next time, I promise." Nene's heart shattered in that moment. She had never asked for anything before, but now, the one thing she had asked for was denied. The weight of the disappointment and loneliness that had followed her for so long crashed over her like a tidal wave. She couldn't hold it in any longer. Silently, she walked to the back of their small house and sat down, the tears falling without a sound. As she cried, she sang through her sadness, my gizzard, my gizzard, my gizzard of barbecue. It's eaten again, and I'll never taste it too. How I wish I could have some, just this once, but my father's promise has turned into none." She sang the same lines 3 times, each one breaking her heart further. Her voice echoed through the night, pure and filled with the pain of a child who only ever wanted to be loved. The fairy of the land, who had been watching Nene's suffering from afar, took pity on her. With a wave of her hand, she transformed Nene into a bird with 7 beautiful, magical colors. The fairy granted Nene the wings of freedom, but also a life of solitude. Nene was to fly away from her family and never return, for she deserved more than the neglect and pain that had been her life. The next morning, the family awoke to find that Nene was gone. They searched for her all night, calling her name, but she was nowhere to be found. As the hours passed, regret began to settle in the hearts of Nene's family. They realized, too late, how they had taken her love for granted, how they had overlooked her silent sacrifices, and how they had broken her spirit. But Nene was gone, and with her departure, she left behind a silence that would echo in the hearts of her family forever. Nene had become a bird, soaring high above the world, her 7 magical colors glistening in the sunlight. And as she flew, she carried her own love and strength, a love that was no longer bound by the walls of her small home, a love that was free. Her family never saw her again, And though they regretted their actions every day, they knew that they had lost something far more precious than the gizzard of a chicken. They had lost Nene, the heart of their home. The end.